Yeah, so another interesting month. A month sort of feels like 3 or 4 months at the moment. But on the property front, I guess it's been interesting to see that more transactions seem to be happening. Yep. So I noticed in the CoreLogic sort of monthly update that in April transactions were down 33%, but they bounced back 18% in May.
Yep.
So that's been interesting. A very slight price drop, sort of 0.5%, I think, nationally, which is quite minimal. But I guess
I saw some strong auction clearance results as well. So market's being very resilient.
Yeah, and I guess as we see, if that transaction number comes back a little harder, then we might see what happens then. Who knows?
Yeah, what are you picking in 3 and 6 months?
Oh, I wouldn't dare have a go. I just watch and see.
Well, I'll have a go. I'm still concerned. We've got a lot propping us up and stabilising. There's also been a great resilience by people, so I am more optimistic certainly than I was a month or two ago. But keen to see the outcome of when childcare support finishes, when JobKeeper finishes September, when the capacity for people to pause their home loan ends in give or take September, if they've taken 6 months, when the freeze on kicking out tenants ends and tenants might owe money, when people have to go back to work, and can the businesses sustain the employee instead of the JobKeeper? So we likely to see a second economic run, but very strong resilience and very mild change to property prices, which has been solid and impressive.
Yeah, and probably touching on the mortgage deferrals is some lenders coming out, we've seen, haven't we, that are saying, okay, well, if your interest only is expiring, we're happy to extend that another 12 months. Or if you're not on interest only, even to say, hey, just as a little bit of an ease back on repayments, can I go interest only for a year? And APRA have sort of said to the banks that that's acceptable.
Yeah, we're not going to chase you for that.
Yeah.
So what about the eligibility for that change? Someone who wants to change their home loan to interest only, is that like a means test? Do they need to be in difficulty?
Yeah, my understanding is you need to have been affected by COVID. Who hasn't, I guess? But yeah, not each lender will have, I guess, a different process for that. But it's not actually a credit assessment, which it normally is. So normally, whenever you would go for an interest-only extension or a new interest-only period, then you'd be fully assessed. So it's not a full assessment. It's
but it's an application which does include generally a hardship type provision, like a loss of income type provision.
Yeah,
and we've seen it from Westpac, St George, ANZ, CBA at least. And case by case, as we get a question, we would research that lender and see what's in their arsenal.
Yeah, and probably one other thing that's popped up is so many people on JobKeeper. It's been a bit of a settling of how lenders are treating that. So we're seeing hit and miss. About half are saying, okay, well, if you're on JobKeeper, $1,500 a fortnight, and you're on a higher income, we'll still take your $1,500 that you're getting as JobKeeper as income towards your application. Some lenders are sort of saying flat out, no, we won't accept income while on JobKeeper. So if your pay's gone up, however, if you're on $1,000 a fortnight and it's gone up to $1,500, logically the lenders aren't accepting the $1,500. They're saying what you were on lower. That 1,000, some lenders are accepting that. Yeah,
and the lenders also looking perhaps for letters on certainty on return to work, things like that. And I think we mentioned last month the caution on some self-employed and category income, where some self-employed income, what's been the change on the self-employed side?
Yeah, so in the past, you could sort of have your financials from up to 18 months or longer ago be accepted as your verification of income. So now basically what they're saying is, okay, if you've done your 2019 tax returns, we still want to see, they would have rested on those previously. They still want to see updated BAS, updated business banking statements to make sure that you're trading at the same sort of level that you were. So that's and even for PAYG, some lenders have sort of reduced. They used to say, okay, 30 days old payslip, that's fine. Some have now said, well, that can only be 14 days old. So they're just being a little bit more up to date with income.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Shane. And the big message is there broadly is lending's happening, strong lending options for strong customers in solid situations. The bank's still very keen. Still a lot of refinance type specials and some excellent fixed rates. And so plenty to chat about if someone wants to give us a call.
Yeah, definitely. The lenders are still there. They're quoting still open for business. So a lot of policies haven't changed.
Do you want to see one more bank send us a note saying they're open for business? Love that. They're open for business.
Yeah.
The last one probably to touch on is some interesting noises, not yet policy, that perhaps there'll be, likely to be some stimulus packages around construction and or even renovation. So we've currently got benefits if you build a brand new property, especially for first home buyers. However, that might extend and you might see things like stamp duty exemption if you buy land and build within a certain time, or encourage or be part of a new construction. There might be an incentive like no stamp duty or a cash grant of some sort for all people, not just first home buyers. And even I saw quoted yesterday, there's talk of if you do not a bits and pieces renovation, but a significant, like a full kitchen upgrade through a recognised company, etc. Because we saw, I don't know if we talked last month about scary stats about potential big reductions to new start construction from range 230,000 per year to 110,000 per year from one source, which is kind of scary if the developers get cautious, bring the reins in, don't do as much development. We don't have the net migration. We don't have the growth in prices that encourages development, and people are holding their money. So and construction industry huge in Australia. So over 1 million people are employed by or linked to the construction industry. So watch for that to come soon. And the last thing that we haven't yet talked about, Shane, interest rates. What happened this month in interest rates?
Oh, yeah. Well, nothing.
What's going to happen next month by what the Reserve Bank Governor, what's he saying, Shane?
Yeah, nothing.
So he's basically said, we're not going negative. I don't want to go to negative interest rates like some country. I'm kind of happy with the current cash rate of 0.25. Don't expect it to go up for a long time. So very strong words from what's normally a very cautious organisation saying we're going into a recessionary period. GDP numbers are coming out today, going to be terrible. So something like our gross product down 10%, which is just unheard of. So likely to be a very stable long-term interest rate environment, which is good for those with confidence. And if you're going to look at a home and you're very long-term, well then, yeah, interesting. You could certainly, if you've got confidence, we've got some clients starting to dabble and start to look at doing some applications again. So I think that's great for the month. Any last words from you?
Look forward to the next month ahead.
Fantastic. And the big news we've got, so we're about to roll to the Sam White interview that we cut just a few days ago. Big news is announcing that next month guest, who's next month's guest, Shane?
Oh, I think it's me.
It's a former cricketer. So yeah. Cracking story, our own Shane Mott. I'm really excited. I did ask him some months ago that I'm super keen to, because Shane's got a great story, really well regarded, great human being, a focus on professional cricket, the environment of professional cricket, which he's been involved with, a bit about lending and philosophies on lending and the types of customers or our support or whatever he wants to talk about. We'll spend some time on that, but really excited about that. He loves talking about himself,
Can't wait.
So I really appreciate him being open to sharing next month. That's going to be a real highlight for me, and I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy it. So let's now roll to the interview with Sam White, and have a good month, stay safe and be kind to your family.